Hello students, welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed my last video on articles. Today we are going to dive into the very important series of Spanish language, which are the verbs. We have to know that there are three types of verbs in Spanish, that is the AR, ER and IR verbs. We also should know the infinitives of Spanish and how to conjugate them according to the subject pronoun endings. So today we are going to see what are the AR verbs. We are going to see a few regularly used AR verbs so that you can use them for your daily conversation in Spanish. Let us start with the comparison of English and Spanish verbs. In English, the action verbs are run, dance, sit, walk, talk, eat. When you add a to these verbs, they become an infinitive, like to run, to dance, to sit, to walk. If I want to say, I want to eat a mango, I will use the infinitive to eat to say I want to eat a mango. In the same way, Spanish infinitives have endings. They do not have a to, but they have endings like the AR ending, ER ending and IR ending, which are further classified as regular verbs and irregular verbs. Some examples of regular verbs are correr, to run, bailar, to dance, escribir, to write, hablar, not hablar but hablar. H is silent in Spanish. We don't say hablar, we say hablar. To talk, caminar is to walk. Irregular verbs are, which I have spoken about in my first video. I have taught it very clearly, the ser and the estar verb, which means to be. Ir, to go, saler, to leave and poner, to put. Now let us see the rule for the conjugation of regular verbs in present tense in Spanish. Now, in English, there is no such thing as base and stems for infinitives that we all know. If I want to conjugate to talk, I will simply say I talk, you talk, he talks, we talk and they talk. Here we see all the talk remains the same, only in he we add an s for talks. But in Spanish, we have to remember that there is a rule for conjugating the verbs. Now we will see that how the regular verbs are conjugated. We have to remember that in Spanish regular verbs, there are two parts, the stem and the base. Now for conjugating these regular verbs, we have to remove the base from the infinitive and only take the stem. Like for example, hablar, to talk. Now here the stem is ab, H-A-B-L, habl, and A-R is the base which we have to remove. Comer, comer, the stem is com, C-O-M, and the base is E-R that we remove. Now IR verb vivir, V-I-V is the stem and IR is the base which we have to remove. And now what we have to do is that after we remove the base, we have to take the stem of the regular verb and conjugate it with the endings corresponding to the pronouns that I have discussed in my second video. Now let us see what are the AR endings in the present tense as per the pronouns. Like for example, yo is o, tú is as, el, ella, usted is a, plural nosotros, nosotras is amos, vosotros, vosotras is ais. See, in ais there is a tilde above the a, not in any other conjugation except for vosotras, which is very important for you to know and understand. Then ellos, ellas, usdts, we have to conjugate with an. Now I have given some few examples which verbs are used in the daily life, which you can use and also try to make your own sentences with these regular verbs. Like for example, hablar. Hablar is to talk. If I want to say I speak to my friends on the phone, I will conjugate it by removing the AR from the hablar and just put the yo ending O to the stem, that is HABL, which becomes hablo. Yo hablo con mis amigas por el teléfono. Another verb which is used in our daily life is estudiar, that is to study. Here also you can see that we have to remove the AR ending from the verb estudiar and just take the stem estudi and add an O to it to make it estudio, which means I study Spanish every day. Yo estudio español cada día. Okay, now we will see the second person informal tú, which we use for people who are younger to us or of the same age. Now we have to remember that the conjugation of this will be AS, that is hablar, to talk, will become hablas. The stem will remain and the ending AR ending will be removed and AS will be added to it to make it tú hablas. You speak to your friends on the phone. The boy is telling the girl, you speak to your friends on the phone. He will say, tú hablas con tus amigos por el teléfono. Now next is estudiar, is to study. Here also see, I have removed the AR ending from the infinitive estudiar and to the stem I have added the ending, that is AS, to make it estudias, which means you study. The teacher is telling the small boy, you study Spanish every day. Tú estudias español cada día. Now third person singular is also the same, that is like tú, but it is not going to be as, it will be a, because you are talking about the third person singular and that means आप. Here it changes the ending for the pronoun and it becomes a. Like hablar, to talk, will become habla, not hablas, like we used in tú. Here you are talking to someone who is elder to you. The child is telling the mother, you talk with your friends on the phone. So she will say, usted habla con tus amigas por teléfono and not tú hablas con tus amigas por teléfono. See, the child is telling the teacher, you teach Spanish every day. So he will not say tú enseñas, but he will say usted enseña. Here also see, the third person singular ending will be used after the stem, that is enseña. The AR conjugation will be ending will be removed and an A will be added to make it enseña, that is you teach. Now the third person singular, as we know, is él and ella. Now él is used for he and ella is used for she. Now here in this picture we can see a man is talking to the students, maybe about anything, like for example politics. So here again we will take the infinitive and divide it into two, the stem and the base. Now the stem, can you see, it is HABL and the AR ending is removed and the conjugation of the third person singular L and AR is added, that is A, to make he talks, él habla, to the students about politics. Él habla con los estudiantes sobre política. Now we see in this picture there is a teacher who is teaching the students in the class. She teaches Spanish every day. So how will you say that? You will use the third person pronoun ella. You will use the conjugation of third person singular a you will remove the stem from the infinitive enseñar and add an A to make it enseña, that is, she teaches Spanish every day. Ella enseña español cada día. Okay, now we will see the plurals. That is the first person plural, that is nosotros and nosotras, and that is we in English. Now we have to remember that the AR ending for we is amos. Now see here, there is a group of boys who are talking on the phone to their friends maybe. So now we want to say we talk. How will you say that? What is the rule of conjugation? Remove the AR ending from the infinitive hablar and add the AR endings of the pronoun we, that is amos. So we say nosotros hablamos con los amigos por el teléfono. We talk to friends on the phone. Now see, here is a group of children who are studying. So how will we say we study Spanish every day? Again, we will remove the AR ending from the infinitive estudiar, that means to study, and add the AR ending of we and say nosotros estudiamos español cada día. Now second person vosotros is tum log, which is the AR ending for this pronoun is. See, is has a tilde above a, which you should not forget. Now see here, there is a group of children and the teacher is telling the children, you all speak Spanish very fluently. How will she say that? She will use vosotros for y'all, that is a second person plural. She will remove the AR ending from hablar, add AIS, which is the second person plural AR ending, to HABL, and she will say vosotros habláis en español con fluidez. Now another example is estudiar. Estudiar is to study. Now here again, see, the teacher is telling the students, you all study Spanish daily. Vosotros estudiáis español los todos días. Now the third person plural is ellos, ellas and usdts, that is they. The ending for this pronoun is an. Okay. So now see, in this picture, the two doctors, they are talking to the patient. If we want to say they speak to the patient with care, we will say ellos, they hablan, that is, remove the AR ending, add the AR ending for the third person plural, that is an, to the stem of hablar and say hablan to the patient with care, al paciente con cariño. So this is a very simple way, students, by understanding what is the AR endings, how to conjugate them in Spanish. So I want that you also do some conjugation of words, verbs, regular verbs in the AR form, which I will be giving in my description section. Kindly please conjugate them in all the pronouns and let me know how much you have understood the concept. If you still cannot understand, I will do more better explanation in my next video, which is for AR and IR verbs. Kindly please be attentive and please do join the next video to understand the verbs, regular verbs in a much better way.